Spelling and grammar are only the beginning of the tools that we need to check documents in a global marketplace and in our global economies. Let's go to the Review tab and take a look at the other proofing and language tools that are available in Microsoft Word 2010. I'd like to begin with our research tools. The research tools allow us to look up a word when we're not sure what it is. So I'm going to choose, for example, the word gallery and do some research. And I have a choice of many different reference books. For example, I can go take a look on research sites. I can look in Encarta or in particular dictionaries. So let's take a look and see what Encarta tells us. And it tells us that galleries range from a place for art exhibitions to long, narrow rooms, to parts of theaters and underground passages, to the audience sitting in the cheapest seats. So lots of choices in the dictionary. Let's enter some other terms and see how they hold up. For example, if we enter MSFT and translate this, let's just click Research again. Notice that term's automatically moved here. And I'm going to say, let's take a look at Microsoft Money stock quotes. This is the ticker for Microsoft. If we wanted to insert the price for Microsoft stock, or you could insert conceivably other information, we'll just do that, and there it is. I can also get a detailed quote and get charts and lots of other information. So we have access to stock information. If, for example, we enter an address, we can select the address and do research on it. And the kind of research we might do on an address rather than being a stock quote would be, for example, a Bing site that would give us information about what's at that location, even allow us to click on different websites to get there. So again, very powerful research tools that are available. Don't simply assume that all you have here is a dictionary. There's far more than a dictionary contained on the Research tab, and the list of services is growing that's available to you in Word 2010. Next, let's take a look at the Thesaurus, which is included in Research but also included as a separate tool. So I have the word items in this document a lot, and I'm actually feeling tired of the word items because I'm overusing it. I know there's other words that I could use. So I can right-click and I can choose, for example, synonyms. And these come from the Thesaurus, things like substances, matters, stuffs, objects. Or I can click on Thesaurus and get an even more robust list. So items could mean articles, things. So I could say entries or elements or points. It says, is this what you were looking for? Well, you could look in other reference books or other reference sites if you wish. So the Thesaurus helps us find synonyms, and then optionally we'll list some antonyms. Let's choose the word designed and run it through the Thesaurus. Intended, planned, so adjectives and verbs both. And if there's one of these words that you think it's close to considered, now I'm going to click considered, then measured, then careful, and I can follow until I find a very exact word that is precisely the word that I want. The next tool in the proofing tools is word count, and word count allows me to see how many words there are in my document or selection. Note, I have one word selected right now, and it tells me that. Let's select either no words or the entire document and run word count again. And we find that we have 2 pages, about 768 words in this document, including words that might be in text boxes, footnotes, or endnotes. I'm going to close the research pane, and we're going to take a look at the language tools now. There's part of this document that's actually a paragraph in Spanish, and you might wonder a few things about it. You might wonder what it means. You might wonder why, since it's clearly not spelled the way English words are spelled, why it's not being tripped over by spell check, why this isn't one continuous red and green underline. So we'll solve all of those mysteries and more by looking at the language settings. First, I'm going to take a look at the proofing language. And the proofing language for this entire document includes not just English, but Spanish, because the Spanish dictionary is loaded. And by choosing language preferences and making sure that Spanish dictionary is added to my list of available editing languages, Word will automatically determine that a paragraph is Spanish or English and use the appropriate dictionary, English or International Spanish, to check the text in that paragraph or those pages. So that's pretty cool. Under Translate, we have some nice tools, some of which are new and some of which are not. Before I can use Translate easily, I should choose a preferred translation language. And the translation language I find myself using a lot right now is translating from Spanish to English. So I'm going to say when I see text and I ask for a translation, I'm hoping to see some English, and that traditionally I'll be translating from Spanish into English. Spanish International Sort is the only Spanish dictionary that's loaded right now available from Microsoft, but over time we will probably see additional Spanish Mexican, Spanish Spain, Spanish Central America, so don't be afraid to go back and check for additional dictionaries as time goes on. Nothing will prompt you to say there's a more precise Spanish dictionary, for example. Once I've chosen my translation language, I can either translate some text directly, I can translate a whole document, some selected text, or I can use this new feature called the Mini Translator, which is on right now. So if I select some text, having told the Mini Translator I'd like to see it in English, and then I pause and move into my text, in addition to the mini toolbar, you'll notice a very big shade that appears here. I'm going to move into the text and move here, and there is the Spanish to English translation of this text. On the Insert tab, the galleries include elements. If I want to know what a particular word means, I can double-click, pause for a moment, and it says this word means coordinate. This word it can't find. This word means to pick or to choose, to select. If I'd like to translate this entire paragraph, then I can select it and either move into the translator and say I'd like to expand and do some research on this, or I can choose Translate selected text. The research panel opens again, and it's translating this from Spanish to English, and this is per my request in my translation language settings. Translate from Spanish to English. And it says on the Insert tab, the galleries include elements. If I want to insert that translation in my document, I can simply press Enter to create a new line and insert that translation very quickly. Microsoft Word 2010 includes a wonderful set of proofing and language tools to help you make sure your spelling and grammar are correct, to help you choose exactly the right word when you wish, to help you research the words in documents that you receive, to let you count your words, and to allow you to proof and translate in different languages.